There's this thought that I had a couple of days ago that made me want to make this video because I think it is very important and it really made sense for me, so maybe it would make sense for other people. And I like to call this idea that I want to talk about the base of happiness. To explain exactly what I mean, I have to talk a little bit about myself and how my mental state changed through the years. Before I started my self-improvement journey, I used to waste most of my time doing nothing productive. I wasn't pursuing my goals, I wasn't taking care of myself, I didn't have stable relationships. I was just living in a passive mode, following my impulses, just seeking the things that would give me instant pleasure. I never thought about the future or the consequences or what could go wrong. And so back then, when I am going through my day and something new happens, something negative, a new problem or a conflict with a person or something outside of my control, it would make me think about all the negative things that are going in my life. And it would make me even more negative and even more depressed than I used to. It was just a downward spiral of negativity, of negative thoughts feeding back on each other. And that's because my base of happiness was extremely low. I had nothing to show for. I wasn't doing anything positive in my life. And so back then my thoughts were only related to the negative things that are going in my life. I would think about how I am not taking care of myself and that I don't have goals, I don't have plans. It was just negativity the whole time. So there was nothing to hang on to appreciate about myself, to feel proud of. After years of self-improvement, of working on myself, something bad happens now when a new problem arises. I would be a bit emotional in the moment and maybe a bit angry, maybe a bit sad. Of course, it is not something you can completely control. But the difference is that when I feel these emotions and I start to think about my base of happiness, I would think about all the positive things that are happening to me. How I have become much smarter than before. I am more self-aware and that I do so many positive things. I can always hang on to this base of happiness that I have. These things that I really appreciate and I feel really proud of myself for. And I think this is really important because there are things that are objectively good for us and would work on almost everyone. And these are things that are not easy to do. These are not things you can just do for 1 day or 2 days and expect change and expect that your base of happiness will be higher. No, these are things that you have to repeat every single day, and sometimes they're going to be very frustrating and very hard, but that is the point, that you grind them and work on them day after day, that the structure of this base of happiness is just really thick and it doesn't fall. So some of these things that I have adapted in my life since I started my self-improvement journey are things like reading, and this could be books about anything that you enjoy, any topics that you enjoy, but I think the best kind of books are the ones that teach you something about the world. It could be something about historical events or about philosophy, religions, learning about other countries, other culture, just something that would make you understand this crazy world that we live in. And another thing is cold showers. This is something that most of us are afraid of. We're afraid of this extremely cold water, especially when you wake up in the morning. But if you wake up and do that first thing in the morning, and you get this rush, and then you feel so much better after it, just because you did something that is difficult and something that you are scared of, your general anxiety, your general fears will go much lower. Also, something that is extremely important, and I think it is the most important thing that we can do to improve our base of happiness, is working out. And this doesn't have to be weights exactly. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. It's just something that would improve your physical body. It could be cycling, it could be running, it could be swimming, just any kind of sport that engages the whole of your body. That would make you stronger. And also something that is obviously very important is just having healthy relationships. Being friends with people that you connect with, people who are positive in your life, people who don't bring you negativity, who don't bring you down, and people that you can see on a regular basis. And also something that worked for me very well is just developing new skills. engaging with new hobbies, just engaging with new things that would challenge your mind on a daily basis, exploring this new world that you can see how you get better at it. And there are of course a lot of other habits, but these are mostly the things that have worked for me extremely well. And none of them were easy for me to do. They were very hard in the beginning. I wasn't really consistent with them. But with repetition, with trying again and again and again, they became easier. I began enjoying them more, and I noticed the shift in my life and in my mental state. So now, whatever happens to me, no matter how bad it is, if I lose friends, if I lose my home, if I lose anything, I know that I can withstand that. I know that I can push forward. I know that I can find a way, because I have all of these things that I have worked on, that I have improved in my life, that have become really consistent. Even if I fall for a little bit, I have this base of happiness that will always be there for me and that I can rely on, and things won't go in a downward spiral that they used to years ago. I hope this makes sense. Maybe it does for some people, and for other people it won't. It is just something that I thought about and I felt like talking about.